Hey everybody, real quick before we get the video started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Verve, and I'm sure plenty of you don't know what Verve is, so let me go ahead and take a moment to explain. Verve is a service owned by Crunchyroll, which is where I go to watch all of my anime, and you can think of it as a new home for some of your favorite channels and creators, like Machinima, RiffTrax, Rooster Teeth, and a whole bunch of others. But the two that I think you guys are going to be the most interested in, since this is an anime-focused channel, are these two right here. Since both are a part of Verve, you'll be able to watch a whole bunch of anime in one app, either subbed on Crunchyroll or dubbed on Funimation. With Verve, you'll be able to watch Season 2 of both Attack on Titan and Boku no Hero, along with shows like Hunter x Hunter, Naruto, Boruto, Dragon Ball Super, Cowboy Bebop, One Punch Man, and a whole bunch of others. You can download the app on your phone, both Android and iOS, or on your Xbox or PlayStation, and if you click the link in the description, you'll get a 7-day free trial. So go on ahead, click the link, check out some awesome content, and support the channel in the process. And now, without further ado, let's get on to the video. Alright, Boruto episode 11. Great episode. Seriously, one of my favorite out of the bunch we've gotten so far, if not my number one. Because just so much happened in this episode, it actually felt like the story was progressing. Now, granted, it did feel a little bit self-contained, like all of the episodes up to this one did, but comparatively speaking, a whole lot more stuff happened than I've been used to seeing in just one episode at a time. I don't really want to bother with entire plot summaries until we get to the real, like, meat of the story, but basically, like, the big things that happened were, so the cliffhanger at the end of last week's episode didn't really amount to much. Sumire just ended up in the hospital and she healed up. You know, she's fine now. She's doing okay. Immediately after this, you know, Boruto goes and sees her and he apologizes for not being able to get there quick enough. And then, like, Naruto ends up taking Boruto and he's like, look, dude, you were being stupid. You should have told me about this before. This was a really, really big deal. And you are just the equivalent of a little kid playing detective. You don't know what you're dealing with. And then he points to this guy who's like, I mean, like, he got his chakra molested, dude. He's near dead. They had to get Sakura to start healing him, and that's a big deal because Sakura is a student of Tsunade and one of the only people capable of extracting the poison from Kankuro. Back in the Kazekage rescue arc, like, no one in the whole village could save Kankuro's life. And then here comes Sakura and she just casually saves him from that poison. So her having to be called, especially as an adult now, with probably refined medical skills, is a pretty big deal. And Naruto doesn't say any of this stuff, but, like, I just think it's important to note because I guess this guy is no joke. Naruto's like, you don't know how horrific battle can be, how horrific life as a shinobi can be, so you need to let me handle this from now on. And then I guess, like, Shino comes in and he's like, hold on, before you dismiss him as his teacher, as the teacher of Mitsuki and Shikadai as well, I know what these guys are capable of. You should give them a little bit more credit. And I thought that was a cool throwback to the fact that Boruto, Shikadai, and Mitsuki actually, like, beat Shino. He mentions that they saved him from being possessed by the same guy who's been causing all this trouble throughout this first arc. And I was like, oh yeah, I almost forgot about the fact that that happened. It's good that it actually has presence in the story and it wasn't just sort of a one-off thing. I mean, I guess it still is, but it feels more impactful than it used to, which is great. So then after this, everybody gets their rights to deliver mail back, and that's because the one dude, Taiori, this guy, yeah, he pleaded with the head of the post office to give Boruto, Mitsuki, and Shikadai the right to deliver mail back, which was, you know, that was pretty cool. I actually thought that that was handled really well. I mean, actually, in general, let me just take a moment here to say that the writing in this episode was just really good. The writing in Boruto has been pretty solid so far, but I mean, in this episode in particular, I think the dialogue was handled very well. Gotta give it props for that. But anyways, Boruto proceeds to be much more likable than he was in the movie because he bows out of respect for Taiori, and he's like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because now he's able to go out, deliver mail, and keep doing reconnaissance on the ghost. A bit more stuff happens. Naruto ends up talking to Sai, and he's like, you know, you don't have to try this hard. But yeah, Sai is like, he's working hard to get this thing resolved, and Naruto's like, you know, Sai, you don't have to work this hard. You're overworking yourself. And Sai's like, I don't want to hear that from you. And he's also like, look, since there's a possibility that this guy is tied to the Foundation, I really want to make sure that he's not using the same terrible ideology that made me into the terrible person that I was when we first met. You know, I really want to help this guy out, help him see that what he's doing isn't right. I feel like it's my duty. So I thought that was cool. You know, I've always liked Sai, and I thought it was pretty sweet to see him with that kind of resolve for such a, I guess, an understandable reason. You know, it seemed very human of him. I don't know, maybe that's just me. The whole series is a little bit melodramatic because it is a shonen and a Naruto sequel at that. But no, I mean, I thought that scene with Sai was handled really well. Fast forward a bit, I guess all of the kids decided to get together to extend the range of the search that they would have when locating the ghost, because as it turns out, like, every time, you know, Boruto, Shikadai, and Mitsuki have gone out They've just barely missed people affected by the ghost. And so they come to the conclusion that the guy controlling everybody, or the guy infecting everybody with his chakra, he's been able to watch the kids, and so he's always acted outside of their patrol area. He's always acted away from where they'll be able to affect anything. And so Shikadai gathers all of the academy students, and he's like, look, we're gonna search the entire village, and if you see anything, contact Boruto. Use this little firecracker thing. They move out, and then we see the villain. He's dressed in Anbu gear. I guess he has like the same white hood as some of the Anbu medics we've seen previously in the series have, and he also has a mask, and he takes over the guy who runs the post office, and that dude just goes ballistic. But immediately after this happens, all of the academy students come back, and Shikadai's like, ha, that was all a part of our plan. But what proceeds to happen after this is like absolutely crazy. So the guy who runs the post office, I mean, like, he just starts using the mail as just, like, he just starts weaponizing it. It's so crazy. He just goes full Conan. As a matter of fact, this is identical to Conan's jutsu. It's animated the same way and everything. And it's really obvious that he's super beefed up, because he talked to Boruto a little bit last week, and he was like, you know, I do know a little bit about ninjutsu, but not, like, it was very clear he didn't mean he was capable of this sort of stuff. I guess it's because of the fact that the guy who's, you know, been doing all of this, the guy responsible for the ghost incident, has just been, I mean, he's just so close by while he's fueling this guy. So I guess he's just like receiving a whole bunch of power at once because of the short distance between the two. But yeah, he just goes crazy. If he had any paper bombs, all of the academy students would have been massacred. Anyway, Mitsuki, Chocho, Metali, and Inojin all go after the Anbu dressed guy, and they try to capture him. But Mitsuki lets him get away because Mitsuki's, I mean, he's a little bit suspicious. And yeah, that's the episode. Really good. Solid writing. I really liked the scene with Boruto and Naruto, because I just thought it was really good for them to create a scene that references the original Naruto, that you will appreciate if you watch Naruto and Shippuden, but that doesn't require you to watch the series before getting into this one. And I'm not saying that that's good because it allows people who have never watched Naruto before to get into Boruto, because I don't really think that that's the audience that this series is aiming for, but I think it's a great thing because the series isn't relying too heavily on callbacks, and when it does use them, they're very subtle. I just thought it was nice because, you know, Naruto clearly knows what war is, what, you know, all of the stuff associated with it is like, and it was just really cool for him to give Boruto some words of wisdom and to be like, you know, don't think that you can handle this all by yourself. It will not end well for you. You're just a kid. I get that you have this sense of duty, but you need to let other people take care of this sort of stuff. He like yanked Boruto by the ear and dragged him through a hallway before lecturing him. Naruto was really serious about getting the point across to his kid, and I thought that was really nice. Other than that, a whole lot of scenes didn't really stick out to me. I just thought the episode was consistently good overall. I would say hopefully next week we get really into the meat of the story, but I don't think that's gonna be the case because next week's episode is called Mitsuki and Boruto. So I'm like, I guess it's gonna be like a character-focused episode where not a whole lot of stuff happens. Sort of like the Love and Potato Chips episode with Chocho and the one school shooter type kid. I don't know, I'll have to wait and see. But as with last week, the animation was a bit, well, not the animation really, but the art was a bit, it wasn't great. It could be better. This time it wasn't like terrible like it was at many points last week, but still, I would like it if the episodes came out looking nicer than they do. I guess I can't complain too much because it's like, it's long-running, shonen, and it's a sequel to Naruto at that, which didn't have that high quality of animation. You know, Naruto's animation was, it was great at times, but for the most part, it wasn't anything spectacular. But still, maybe Studio Period could step their game up for this series because everything else about it is really good, but the animation is just for the most part. I've seen what they can put out with The Last and with Boruto the movie, so maybe they'll be able to step their game up soon. But anyways, that's all from me. I'd give this episode a pretty solid 4.5. I don't really have any problems with it aside from the sort of lackluster animation. Looking forward to next week's episode, but I don't think a whole lot's gonna happen in it. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you still haven't watched Boruto, go watch it. It's really good, really enjoyable. I think at this point you might be a little late. Watching through all of the first 11 episodes might be a little bit of a chore because of how self-contained everything is. But, I mean, really, if you just want to start tuning in every week, you haven't missed a whole lot. You can just go back and watch maybe like this episode and the last one, and you'd probably be good. All I know is just go watch it. It's really good. I would highly recommend it. But yeah, until my next video, I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.